We're going to begin by removing the seat, the fuel tank, side plastics. Once you get the fuel tank and plastics off, you're going to drop the coolant out of the bike. And that is done with this bolt right here. And I'll drop it out. Once you got the coolant out, go ahead and put this bolt back in. You're then going to remove the stock thermostat, bypass line, and this lower return hose out of the bike. The supplied rubber hoses that we send with the kits are universal. So this will kind of give you an overview where you want to cut it to make it fit. This will be the long side. And this is looking on the center of the hose for your short side. So obviously you're going to fit it custom for your bike. Just get it in there, make some marks on the hoses, you'll be good to go. So on the bike, this is actually going to go in from the left side. This will connect here. This will connect up to the center frame. On the other side, this is going to sit in here just like this when this was installed. So 1/8 inch plug, adapter here, valve facing the radiator, 90 facing straight up. Use good sealant on all your plugs. Oetiker clamps are going to go here. Regular clamps will go on the frame and the radiator, or on the engine port. So go ahead and get that installed. As you get the thermostat installed, we're going to move on to the return coupler. We actually need these two hoses. So you're going to cut this band and this band, remove these two hoses, and they're going to be installed onto the return coupler on the other side of the bike. So go ahead and get these bands removed. This is how you're going to assemble your return coupler. 90 is going to be canted just a little bit. Plug on this side. It's going to drop right into the bike, like so. Radiator, just like this. And your handlebar line is going to connect to that, follow right up through the factory lines. So once you got the return coupler in, we're going to go ahead and put our factory hose clamps here and here. You can put your bolts back in the radiator, support that, and then we're going to move on to the handlebars. Now that your return coupler is in place, we're going to move up to the handlebars. We're going to get the handlebars stripped off of the bike and the Raze bars installed. Once you get your KTM bars off and your Raze bars on, you're going to get them lined with your centering marks, and then you're going to install your hoses. Now we crisscross them. So this right side's going to go to the left thermostat. This left side's going to go to your right return coupler. So we're going to get this tightened down, get all your controls back on, and move on to your lines. When tightening down the bars and putting your lines on, keep in mind that your 45-degree fittings are going to go on the bar side, and they're going to cross. It's going to go over to this side. This line's going to come down, go over to this side. It's going to go right through where it fits through on the radiator on the factory harnesses here, and same thing on this side. Here's your line here. Follows right through the radiator where your factory wires go through. So drop it right down through, and it's going to meet up right to your return coupler there. So finish putting the controls on, then we'll hook the line up to the thermostat and the return coupler. This is how it'll look once you get your line hooked up to your thermostat. Throw a couple zip ties up here to help stabilize it, make sure the thermostat's not rubbing on anything, and then the fuel tank will kind of push it right away from here when you set the tank on it. We're going to go ahead and top the coolant back off now. Now that your bars are installed, if you're doing a Raze Wingman ECU, now would be a good time to do that. Just go ahead and pop the stock ECU out. We're not going to use this rubber grommet. Put the Raze ECU in, put a zip tie around it through the factory tray down here.